Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic, here with my dogs Lucy and Bert. Together, we're interviewing cool, creative women entrepreneurs in the pet industry. Do you dream of working alongside your dog? Then sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode to find the inspiration and resources that will help you grow your own dog-inspired business. On this episode, I'm talking to an entrepreneur whose passion for giving back to animal rescue organizations has led her to create a booming online store. You'll love hearing how the business started with her and her mom making tons of dog treats in their home kitchen, and how they've transitioned to a much more scalable business model. She has great advice on finding inspiration, staying focused on profits, and of course, you'll get to hear all about her dogs. Let's dive in. Lisa Shawver is a former Olympic athlete who now helps others achieve Olympic-level success through mentoring, business coaching, and motivational speaking. She is a former middle school administrator and has been a teacher for over 17 years and is currently teaching at-risk high school students. She recently began writing children's books inspired by her dog, Max. Her first book in the One Up Max Adventure series is available now on Amazon. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, wonderful. So glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to learn about everything that you do, because you do a lot of entrepreneurial things and teaching and now dog things, which I think is just probably the best direction to head in.
Totally.
So why don't you start off by telling us about Max? How did he come into your life?
So Max came into our life. We used to have some rental properties I'm from Stockton, and we used to have some rental properties in Lodi. And one of our tenants was moving, and on the day they were checking out, there was the crate, there was Max and this little baby monkey toy. Can you take him? We're leaving. We can't take him with us. We're like thinking in our heads, what are you going to do? Leave him here if we don't? No, yeah, we'll take him. But I was panicking because we do a lot of rescue animals. Cats are in the house usually, or some cats in the house, and the dogs are outside. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so many animals. Where are we going to put them? So I was immediately calling on the phone to some friends. Does anybody need a dog? He's really cute, And somebody said, oh, my mom does. And this was like on a Friday, and she was supposed to come on Sunday, but she never made it. So that was going to be like the following weekend, but that was too late. By the weekend was over, he was ours. We just fell in love with him and couldn't let him go. So then we were thinking, well, we said we weren't going to keep him, so let's see if my mom will take him. And that way we could still see him, because we were still thinking, we have a lot of animals. And she said, oh, he's cute, but he's too much for me, because he was just like maybe a year old and running around, too much of a pup. So I said, okay, I guess he's ours. But that's how we got him.
Oh, I love that. So do you like know too much about his life before he came into your life?
They said he was part Chihuahua. So, I know the speakers can't see him, but as his name is on Instagram and Facebook is One Up Max, because he always has one ear up. But when he was a pup, he still had the one ear up, but we know that he was about 15 months old. That's what they said, because they said he was born on May 23rd, the same day as my mom.
Oh my
so
gosh.
We're thinking, that's why I was thinking, oh, Mom, look, it's your little buddy here. You guys can celebrate your birthdays together. But so we got him July 5th of 2011. So he's about 8.5 now.
It's amazing. I know. It goes so fast. I can't believe it.
No. But we knew he was part Chihuahua, but we did a couple of DNA tests once we decided we were keeping him, and he is the only dog that has been inside our house, because it's usually been cats only. So we had to pass a whole bunch of tests, get along here, do this, everything. So so he gets to be in the house, but we did DNA tests. So all the friends start asking, what is he? What is he? So we did the first one, and we had a party, and everybody had to come over and give their little pics, and, hey, it's Jack Russell and Doxy, or Doxy and Chihuahua, or whatever. But it came out that he was 50% 50% Chihuahua, and definitely Amstaff Terrier, so like a pit bull in him. And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff. And then we redid it again because as part of a promoting the DNA for the dogs,
Sure.
wisdom panel, we did it again. But the first time it was just underneath Max. But the second time it was One Up Max, his Instagram name. But they figured it out anyway, that old DNA. But they knew exactly who he was, right? But they said he was 50% Chihuahua. He's got cattle dog in him and pit bull. But there's still this little part that they don't know. And so we always think it's dachshund, because if you look at his feet, they turn out. Mm-hmm. Just some stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes like little mannerisms kind of make you think that they're a certain breed or another. So you were saying
he's definitely mud.
So you used wisdom panel for the DNA?
Yeah, I used wisdom panel.
I've heard really good things about them. Everyone online is always asking like which one is best. I've never done any of the panels, but I've heard good things about them.
Yeah, and it was pretty much right on point both times. It's just, I think I did the first one and then a couple years later I did the other one. So maybe they were more honed in, just like everything gets better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Narrowing down into everything. But he's a mutt, so I think it's perfect for mixed breeds, all American dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works with full breed.
Yeah, it's just fun to do. I'm kind of curious to do my new dog Bert because, I rescued him at like 6 years old, and he looks like a full lab to me, but you never know.
No, you never know, because some people thought he kind of has a lab look, but just short. He's height challenged. He's got short legs, so. But a big body, big bark.
Yeah, he's so cute. So, okay, so he is, he's like 8-ish years old. And when did you decide to start a social media presence for him?
So I would say that was about 3.5 years ago. I think I was on a Southwest Airlines or something, and I saw this Tuna Melts My Heart.
Yes.
And I think she had an article, or they put an article in there about her and Tuna. And I said, Max is cute. And when we're driving down the street, even just sitting at a stoplight, or they'll see him, oh, the kids will look, or people, or if he's sitting in my lap and he wants the window down, he paws down, and he looks at them, and they're just laughing at him, or they'll roll their windows down and say, who is he, and start talking or try to talk to him. So I just kind of wanted to share him with everybody. So that's when and then I saw the article about Tuna. So I said, Instagram, I think I'll start that. And I had no clue about social media. I mean, I did, but I mean, not really. It's like, that was just diving in. So I learned how to do, and I'm not a genius by any means, but I've learned a lot, and working on Instagram and Facebook, and not much on Twitter. It's so much. There's so much to do.
I kind of stay away from Twitter as well. It just doesn't seem to do a whole lot for my business, or really like get a lot of momentum for me personally. But Instagram is my favorite.
Yeah, Instagram is great. So, I mean, and it kept growing. I mean, people seem to like him, and he has over 50,000 now on Instagram and over 80,000 on Facebook. So, and I was like, wow. But it took about 3.5 years.
That's amazing, though. That's not very long, because, like on my account, I probably started working on it like seriously, like 3 years ago, something like that. Before that, it was just like my personal Instagram account. And around 3 years ago is when I started to really use it to promote my blog.
Right.
And I thought I had pretty fast growth. Like in 1 year, I went from 2,000 to 10,000, and then another year later from 10,000 to 25,000, and now I'm close to 40,000. But yeah, I mean, that's fantastic.
He's a dog, I guess,
Yeah, it's fantastic how you've done that. So do you have any advice for people? Like, you had no clue what you were doing when you started it. So what did you learn quickly that you should do or shouldn't do?
I started Googling. I mean, I'm a Google person. I admit it. I started researching and looking up articles. I'm sitting there thinking, how does he have 1.7? And then, an article say that he was at, I don't know, maybe 500,000, which is still way more than Max, but 500,000, and all of a sudden something got put on to Reddit or something, you know what I mean? Or somebody put it on Reddit, and it just kind of, took off, and then he got featured in Instagram probably, and then things start to trickle down. But then you start reading other things about, you need to do this, and you need to start liking a lot of people, and, and it was my summer break. It was still part of my summer break when I started. Oh my gosh, like, oh, I like this one, like, oh, I like this one. I was liking all over the place on my little thumbs. I was going so fast. I learned how to go so fast back and forth between so many different accounts that they thought I was a bot and they would block me. And I'm like, but it was supposedly only for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I go, okay, my husband will go, slow down. I said, yeah, but I start school in a week. I won't be able to do this because, the more you like, the more you comment, the more you,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
do things that, gets more people. So
I've
anyway.
never been totally shut down, but I've gotten like warnings before where it'll say like loading or something like that, and that's like a little clue that you should probably put your phone down for a little bit.
Well, it's like, okay, slow down. I mean, I would just go slow, slow, slow instead of, but yeah, no, but then he got so big that it was hard to keep up with all of everything anyway. So
To reply to every comment and things like that.
yeah, I try to, but
So was there like some accounts have like a big break, like they were featured on Dogs of Instagram or something like that? Did you have any kind of moments like that really gave you a big push?
I kind of missed the first part, but I think you said, did I get featured in anything?
Yeah.
I think one time I think nothing got hugely featured, but one time somebody shared with me that they saw one of his photos like in somebody's blog, so I went there, like one of his Christmas photos. I don't know if I got any major stuff from that, but it couldn't hurt. And then one time they liked somebody that was an Instagram staff writer liked something. But once again, I'm not so savvy. I mean, they did show him on something, but once again, I'm not so savvy. I'm like, what is those messages up there? You know what I mean? It was like I missed her message to me. Arr. You know what I mean? So I didn't get to put as much input or talk to her beforehand, but that's okay.
Okay.
But nothing major except recently, of course, since I've written his book, we were in our local paper, and then I put it out to a couple of TV stations, and so we were on TV. Just recently, we were on Good Day Sacramento, and we were also on Studio 40 Live.
That's awesome. So
yes,
okay, so we're
and then
gonna
we're
talk.
on yours, and you're.
I know. Here you are on the Where Wagger Beat show. So we're gonna get to the book, but first, like since you're talking about getting on local TV, how did you coordinate that? Did you just Google how to contact them?
So when I put my book out and I had put it, and I've got a picture of Max holding the book, so if you guys somewhere on there, and one of my friends, well, I used to play softball, so if you saw that somewhere, I used to play softball, and I was in the 1996 Olympics, so I'm kind of known for that around here for athletics. So when one of my friends who was a reporter back then and still is, he saw that I wrote the book, he goes, oh, how cool. Can I do an article on you? And I said, fantastic. And then I don't have a quote unquote PR person, which I probably should, but I just asked him, I said, hey, is there anybody else like you that that maybe I can contact? So he gave me a list of maybe 5 people, and so then I just contacted them and I sent them my media kit, which I didn't have when I was, contacting you, but I have a media kit now for both Max and myself. And I sent that out with some information, and I guess they liked the idea of Max and the book. So that's how I got on. Just good old fashioned go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And just
taking
ask
action.
someone. Yeah.
Just ask somebody.
The worst that could happen is they say no. So, yeah, I think sometimes people overthink everything and they want to make it all perfect, but just reach out and do it.
Yeah. So now that I did that, I'm like, okay, I need more contacts, because I don't think just sending something out into space without a name on it, you know what I mean? But maybe it would work. I'm about ready to try one of those soon.
Hey, you never know.
You never know, but because they are looking for stories or, interest stories every now and then. So, yeah, so I'm going to probably do a little bit more of that coming up soon.
Very cool. Okay, so now let's talk about the book. Tell me about this book. How did you come up with the idea? Why did you want to write children's books? And how did you even get started in making it?
Well, it all started with the social media, wanting to share Max. So I kind of wanted to share him a little further. Um, and so, and I teach, and I've taught everything from second grade to high school math. And currently I'm an independent study teacher in high school, but I do have a little creative side to me. So just thinking of little stories. So uh, the title of the book is the series title is Adventures of One Up Max, but the book title is Runic and the Crystal Cave. And so the name Runic, just little bits and pieces are from his life. So the name Runic, his agility trainer, our agility trainer, because I still train Max, but she taught me how to, do all the obstacles that you have to do with agility. But she just got a new Dutch Shepherd and pitch black and big pointy ears, and his name was Runic. And as I'm thinking, just kind of start putting things together. And I said, I'm thinking about doing a children's book, and I'm gonna have a dragon in there. Is it okay if I use your dog's name, Runic? She goes, oh yeah, no problem. I mean, I don't know why I asked. It's just a name, but I just thought I'd ask. And she said, oh, no problem. So just little pieces of that. And he's been skunked 3 times. And so but he was trying to be friends with the skunk. I didn't see it happen. We were packing late one night and he got skunked. And all of a sudden I hear my husband slam the door, and then I look out and there's Max wincing with his eye. He got skunked right in the face. And I'm like,
no,
I've never done this before. Anyway, doused him with water. He hates water and the whole thing.
Did you use tomato juice?
No. Well, maybe I did. No, I didn't, because he's so white. I didn't want him to get stained either. But
right.
I used all sorts of stuff the next day, because of course at midnight you're not going to do much.
No, it was like a
but I
cocktail of things.
But I did find something called, oh my God, is Biocide, and they have a skunk spray. And because the second time, from then on, I always keep a little bit of this stuff around, because we had a resident skunk out in our backyard, obviously.
That wasn't one of your rescue pets. That was just a wild animal.
No. But my husband loves all the animals, so he keeps cat food out for the skunks and possums and raccoons. And no harm, no foul around here. Unless something really dangerous happens, I suppose, but nothing has.
Sorry to interrupt the interview, but I would love to see what you're doing while you catch up with the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. Take a screenshot of this episode in your podcast player, or snap a selfie with your earbuds in. Bonus points if it's on a dog walk, and share it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at @tmystic. I'll keep an eye out for mentions, and I would love to give you a shout out from my own account. Okay, now back to the episode.
But Max just wants to be friends with that skunk, so that skunk comes out every night, right? And so he comes trotting up to him, and the second time he at least kind of swung to the side, you know what I mean, so as not to get right in the face. But that little guy was stamping his feet and got him again. But that Biocide is really good. You just it smells like chlorine.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever used it or smelled that stuff, but that skunk got into our garage. He ran off into the garage, sprayed my entire garage. My car smelled, the garage smelled. But I guess I didn't realize that skunk oil, I guess it unattaches itself and floats in the air and then attaches to something else. So that's why you bring that smell in the house. It's not so much him that's smelling it. It somehow.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then my office smelled. So I had to get a room Biocide thing, a car. They make one for a car.
Oh my gosh.
My car smelled like a swimming pool, but it was way better than skunk, once you aired it all out. But yeah, they have. Yeah. So that's what I did. But anyway, so he was the jutting around. I mean, so the story is Max zooms after a strange critter, and into a strange world. Well, that strange critter was based after the skunk, because he just has to know and has to see and has to befriend everybody, right? So, I mean, just little parts of his life that he's done, you know what I mean, just kind of twisted it. Of course, it might be a dragon now instead of a skunk, or it might be little things, just putting all the little pieces together for a children's fantasy rather than I figured a children's fantasy would be easier to write than a big old novel.
Yeah. I think it's so creative and imaginative, and I just love it. So did you personally illustrate this entire book?
Oh, no. That was so I wrote the book, had it edited, and did some stuff, and I went to New York to try to get an agent, do all the old the way that you're supposed to do it and pitched it. And a lot of people loved it. And in fact, I haven't heard back from a couple of people, and some people wanted me to write something, a children's book on, a middle grade book on, softball and Olympics, or maybe dog training and how that happened. And then some people wanted me to write a memoirs about it, the softball stuff instead, like come back to us. So they liked some parts of it one way or another, or maybe they didn't do a children's book and they wanted an older book, but it just didn't happen. So then I kind of put it on the back shelf because life happens. You got to keep going along. And I met a new mentor that was pushing more towards the entrepreneurship and speaking. And then from him, I met somebody else. And then I met another editor and just got ideas. And then from her, I was maybe going to go with a publisher. And so I just got different ideas of illustrators. So, and he happened to also be in the the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. Cool. Yeah, he happened. I saw him over here, and then I saw him on there, and I said, okay. And then you just have to look, and you have to find a style, and then you have to interview them. And there were a couple of people I liked, but some people couldn't start the project for like 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, my impatience, I want to do it. I've been waiting so long. I want to get this done. And I really liked Jason Slater is the illustrator. I really liked his work. So, and he was able to get started. So we did. Yeah. And yeah, so he's my illustrator.
Okay, so once you wrote it and then he illustrates it and you edit it and you lay it all out in like a
there's also
format
parts
somehow. Oh yeah. How does it actually get printed into people's hands?
So, I mean, if you're not doing traditional publishing, you're definitely going to be self-publishing. So there are self-publishing companies out there. And I went with a group of people that would also help me promote it somewhat and help me do some of the Facebook and stuff with it. But they wound up we were going to different publishers, printing houses, I should say, not publishers, printing houses to see, which is the best pricing and all that kind of stuff. But instead of having 2,000 books in your garage or something or more, we ultimately decided to go with Amazon. Print on demand. So that's how it is right now. They don't have to have them either. It's print on demand. What's interesting is when I want to order books, let's say I want to order 60 publisher books, darn if it doesn't take 3 or 4 weeks, you know what I mean, to get them. But if you were to order it 2 days, if you're Prime or whatever, I mean, they print it right then and there, print on demand, like it says, and then you get it. But for me as an author, I have to wait a few weeks. It's just kind of weird for the large quantities.
I had no idea that Amazon would do print on demand, like an entire book. Because I use,
doing that now.
I've done episodes. I started a Shopify store on my blog last year, and I've done episodes about that and sort of the different avenues you can go down with that. And I have some products that are print on demand, like t-shirts and sweatshirts and things like that. And it's the same exact thing. If my customers order it, they get it right away. But if I want to order it and get, like a special discount as the creator of it, then it takes weeks for me to get it. So it is kind of a similar thing, but that's so cool. I didn't know you could do an entire book that way.
Yeah, so I have an ebook on there, so that was the first thing you do, and we promoted the ebook free, and it still remains at 99 cents. So if somebody wants to do the Kindle version or the ebook version, it's still only 99 cents. But you upload that into the system, you know what I mean, and then you upload the book, and because once you have it all formatted and everything, it's just a matter of uploading and putting the ISBN, the author name, the illustrator name. It's just in the system, and then you order proofs just like you would from a regular printer. So I know the audience can't see it, but you've got a proof. Oh, that's not a proof. It's a proof that says not for resale. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
So the first ones that came out, as you can see, the audience can't, but it had white edges around the book, and you don't really want that. You want that full, you know what I mean?
Finished,
picture,
real book.
Finished look. So it was like, something happened, right? So then you go back and you correct whatever it is. And at first I chose, it's okay, Max. At first I chose cream colored pages, which I do really like for certain books. But for this and the way that it turned out, I wanted the brighter the brighter pages and make sure the cover is. And so then they come out, the not for resale, if you do ever write a book. And then once you've approved it, it comes out normal. And that's what everybody gets. And I was so excited when I got my first box of books. I'm like, oh my God, I'm an author.
Yeah. I mean,
It's real.
I've worked online for like over a decade. And so, switching over to like have some physical products that you can actually hold something that you're selling or hold something that you made is just like so fantastic.
Yeah, I was totally excited. So, but anyway, so it's not 100% Max, but there's a lot of him in there. As you know, it's just that friendship and wanting adventure, and he just has to run and after things. And yeah.
I love it. And you have a wonderful social media platform that you've built up that you can use to promote the book, which is really kind of smart how it all worked out.
Right. So promoting it more underneath him instead of me, because during this whole time, I really didn't think about it, but oh my gosh, I have to have a platform. So I barely created my website, and starting, now I have to do it. But it's when you teach full time and this is, your second job trying to break out, of course, you want to be with Max all the time. So that's why, you're doing it to be an entrepreneur and move forward. But it's tough to get everything going.
Yeah, it is. So do you have any favorite apps or resources that you use either to run social media or to run other parts of your business to kind of make it so you can do it all?
I started using Planoly. I haven't done it yet for whatever reason. The book came out and then all sorts of other things, you start doing other things. So it's been a struggle some days to get all the posts out. But usually I do post from Instagram and I push it to Twitter. That just being able to push it to Twitter and Facebook helps, because that way you're only posting one and done, basically. Right. You can, of course, schedule posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you could use Hootsuite, and sometimes I've had a couple of friends help me out sometimes and post, and do something for me. I say, here's a picture and copy, and they'll put it on and do that. And I need to maybe do that, of course, myself. But I think the algorithms, with the Facebook and with Instagram, they like it better when you're not using the third party. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful on the third party apps that you do use, but those are some that I would use. But I have a lot of apps. You can't even see it, but there's like one that says photography, and inside there's probably, there's 9 to a page. So there's probably almost 36 apps inside there to maybe help.
Yeah.
Create. There's 1 or 2 that I use as go-tos, but
what are the 2 that are your go-tos?
Like one for just basic photo editing would be Snapseed. Mm-hmm. I use PixArt. Like if I can't find, like I want to put a bunny ears on them or something, and I can't find it, or I'm just making it up. Right. I don't know, a black top hat that isn't one of those little toy baby ones. Mm-hmm. But I want it to look like a real top hat. Like recently I did that probably for New Year's. You just, I don't know, here's a tip. You type in transparent black hat or something, or transparent, maybe you've done this before, transparent, whatever. And you have to find the ones with the grids on it. But the PixArt app, you take your own picture and then you can add a photo, and then you can crop it and size it and add it on, and it looks like it's real. I don't do that very often. He really does wear, like he's wearing a bow tie now. He really does wear bow ties, or he really does have a suit and tons of clothes. But sometimes that extra little element, you know what I mean? Instead of wearing his goggles, which he has, I want him to really, it's okay. I want him to be wearing sunglasses. And if I want him to match the outfit, I have to go searching around. So sometimes, gosh, it takes so much time.
My dogs aren't good at wearing sunglasses, so I will have to start doing that.
Yeah, and then in some of the apps themselves, they'll have goodies or toys that you can add. But some look totally cartoonish, but some actually look pretty real. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you pick the right ones. So it's cool. And then Boomerang, of course, and I like Lumiere, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one other thing I noticed that you do a lot of is you create a lot of memes. Do you think that those have a really good reaction on social media? Because I don't really create any memes.
I wanted to create more memes, and I have a couple of different people that will do some memes for me. But I just was speaking to some people, and I don't have it's in my notes. I just came back from more of an entrepreneurial training this yesterday, and they were talking about two different things for making memes, and I apologize, I cannot think of it. I'd have to go through my notes, but supposedly it's easy, but I try to do those on Wednesdays because I guess according to some statistics, Wednesday memes are better.
Okay.
I haven't done any. So I've created the memes and they're on my website, but then I'll just pull them off his website and post them. That way I don't have to create quite so many, and I just share once a week with them. Unless there's a particular meme that's like solely cool and matches like a hashtag day or something.
Right. Yeah. Some new current thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, obviously, there's so much to look at on your accounts. Tell everyone where they can find you guys online.
So if you're looking for Max, he has his own website. So that's oneupmax.com, but you spell out the number one. So that's ONEUPMAX.com. And then you can also go find him on Facebook. So facebook.com/oneupmax all together. And of course, Instagram.com, oneupmax. He's easy enough to find. And if you are a Twitter person, hey, go Twitter and say hi to him at oneupmax on Twitter. And if you're looking for me as an author, entrepreneur, coach, it's lisashawver.com is my website. But who knew there were so many Lisa Shawvers out there? So I had to do on Instagram and Facebook, Lisa Shawver Official.
Okay.
OFFICIAL. And then on Twitter, you can't have something that long if you know how that. So it's Lisa Shawver OFC.
Okay.
Short for official.
So we'll make sure we find the right Lisa and
and
connect with you and connect with Max. Thanks so much for being on the show today.
Oh, no, thank you. And everybody go to Amazon. You can at least get your 99-cent version. You can just Google Adventures of One Up Max or Lisa Shawver. It should pop up and on Amazon, and there you go. And we're working on Barnes & Nobles.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. You can fetch show notes at wearwagrepeat.com. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, we'll see you around the dog park.